Have you ever stood at the edge of a challenge, wondering where help would come from? Have you ever found yourself in a moment of need, faced with questions and doubts? Do you know that there is a biblical promise that can transform these moments of worry into powerful opportunities for peace and hope? Here's the promise. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus. What if we truly believe this promise? Imagine how different our lives might look if we embraced it fully, trusting that God's provision is abundant, constant, and unfailing. But let's be real. Trusting in provision can sometimes feel like a struggle. There are so many misconceptions that can cloud our understanding. One common misconception is that trusting in God's provision means life will be easy or that we will always get exactly what we want. Another is that God's provision is only material, only tangible, only about what we can hold and see. And perhaps the greatest misconception is that trusting in God's provision is passive, that it requires no action or responsibility from us. But today, let's go deeper to uncover the truth about God's promise of provision and the role it plays in our lives. So how do we break free from these misunderstandings and come to a richer understanding of God's provision? I want to offer 3 steps to help us embrace this promise in a way that will bring peace and power to our daily lives. First, we must understand that God's provision is rooted in his unwavering faithfulness. Throughout the Bible, we see how God provided for his people in their times of need, whether it was manna in the desert for the Israelites or the 5 loaves and 2 fish that fed thousands. God's track record of faithfulness is unbreakable, and it's this same faithful God who promises to meet our needs today. By acknowledging his steadfastness, we open our hearts to trust that his provision is constant. Second, we must learn to trust beyond what we can see. God's provision often arrives in unexpected ways, and it doesn't always look like we imagine it will. Trust means believing that God is working for our good, even when we can't see the full picture. Perhaps it's a closed door that redirects us, or an obstacle that builds resilience. Trusting God's provision means believing that he knows our needs better than we do. Finally, trusting in provision isn't passive, it's active. As we trust, we are called to move forward in faith, to use the resources, opportunities, and wisdom he provides each day. By living with a heart of gratitude, we keep our focus on the blessings he has already given, rather than fixating on what we lack. Gratitude shifts our mindset to abundance and opens us to see God's hand at work in every corner of our lives. This is a world filled with uncertainties, and we all have moments where the weight of worry or fear feels heavy. Yet trusting in God's provision is a refuge for us. When we choose to lean into his promise, we find a peace that transcends our understanding, a peace that reminds us we're not alone in our struggles. This promise of provision strengthens us, giving us hope that we can rise above any hardship, any need, because God's supply is endless and his love for us is boundless. In our everyday lives, let's hold on to this truth. When you face a challenge, instead of asking, "How will I make it through?" begin with, "God, thank you for the provision you have for me in this." Let this mindset of abundance foster resilience within you, empowering you to move forward even in times of uncertainty. Let it fill your heart with gratitude, for gratitude is the bedrock of faith, reminding us daily of God's unfailing care. Today, I challenge you to carry this promise in your hearts. My God will supply all my needs. My God will supply all my needs. Let it inspire you to trust, to hope, to take bold steps in faith. Lean into this promise with a heart wide open, prepared to receive all that he has for you. Not just material things, but the peace, strength, and joy that come from trusting in a faithful God